This is the clinic for Pottag Etude number 74. This little march should have an attitude. For tempo and style, I envisioned the little Berlioz Hungarian march from the Damnation of Faust, not only for tempo, but also for style. Strive for the half note pulse at around 90 for the half note. Be careful when you play this. The tendency is the last 4 bars of this piece, people will want to make a retard when there is none written. So play the piece out to the end. Style should be not overly bombastic. The staccato marks should be thought of as a mark of lightness rather than duration. For instance, a lot of times I hear people try to really hammer this. It isn't like that. It isn't clipped or punched. It's just a nice little light brush stroke of the tongue. So forth. Notice that the accents, when I played them, had a nice singing quality. These, likewise, should not be hammered or slammed into. Now, another thing to watch out for. Be aware of the 8th note slurred passages that are accented. I'll say on the first line. Then, there is a passage that occurs on the second line, and those are not accented. Make sure you make the difference. Also, the opening triplet. You might want to consider triple time. I think it rolls off a little bit better. But if you're not able to do that, work on your fast single time. There's a couple of things that you can do. One is practice arrhythmically, or a method I call note crowding. I'll demonstrate. The first 4 notes. Just get those transitions. Short, long, as quick as you can. Go with your finger rhythm. Then do long, short, long, short. Then notice the A or the B has a tendency not to want to speak. So if you have a problem with either one of those notes, you might want to just make sure that you're bumping the air on either the A or the B natural, whichever seems to work better. With me, it works better on the B. I think it's cleaner for me if I play triple time. I like ta-ti-ka-ta. I think that works, again, as I said, a little bit better. Whatever you feel comfortable doing, just go ahead and perfect that to the best of your ability. The next thing I want to address are some special fingerings for a particular group of notes. On the second line, where you enter on that A flat, about halfway through that second line, when you have the A flat to G, you might want to consider using trigger second finger on the B flat horn for that upper A flat. It's a little bit stuffy on the second and third and a little resistant. If you do it second finger, it's a little bit more open, a little less restricted, and I think it gives a better quality of sound. Another special fingering that I'll use is the line below On the third measure, where you play that the D right below middle C, normally that's not going to be that much of a problem. But in this case, where you have all this agility, you have notes on the B flat horn that anticipate and succeed this. So what I would do, I would likewise play this on the B flat horn, trigger third. It really works a lot easier and it speaks a lot cleaner, as opposed to the traditional. I can play it the other way, but it takes just a little bit more energy. Anything that I can do to make my job easier, I will go ahead and do that. Next, let's talk about rhythm. Basically, this is a straight ahead piece. Be aware that the last two bars on line 3 and the beginning of line 4 may want to drag. What happens is that the transition between the dotted quarter and the eighth note, and many times people are a little bit late getting into this. Subdivide in your head so that your timing is solid. Something that may help is put just a little bit of space between the notes. In other words, don't sustain the dotted note quite so much. Instead, put just a slightest bit of break. And it actually clears it up. I'll do it again. Connected. Separated. It's not much, but it's enough to help with the clarity. Also, if you notice that when I played that A flat up there again, I still used my second finger. However, that time it was a little flat, so what I have to do is slightly open my hand up just the slightest bit to compensate for that. I'll do that again this time with a compensation. And there we have it. It's perfectly in tune. Now, let's look and listen to see how this all goes together.